Hello and welcome back to another episode of Glorious Companions. My name is Syken and today we're continuing our mini let's play of the game. I mentioned the last time that I'm just going to hunt around this area and will level up a little bit. This game unfortunately does have a bit of repetitive grinding mechanics. The game offers quests that you can see on the left hand side, but it's oftentimes really find resource X, kill animal Y, and sometimes it's a unique quest. So really not that much has happened. I leveled up our companionship, and we're now level 5. Put enough into leadership to kind of keep a solid roster. Put a lot or some into trading, some into first aid to prevent enemies from immediately killing us. And that's really what I intend to continue doing. So far, that worked very well for us. You can also see that we leveled up our companions. So let's take a look at those. So Regina, the main protagonist of this playthrough, is now level 6. I was purchasing experience actually for gold. And I think that might be a bit of an overpowered mechanic because you can very much level one character and let it become very, very strong. These higher level abilities are kind of gated behind, uh, yeah, actual higher level. But since you can essentially like power level a single character, it seems that that character can carry the others. So I'll use that with caution. You can see we skilled into Fixer Upper, which is a heal skill. So she's going to be a support character. Argon pretty much stayed the same. However, we reached the second tier, and I invested into a skill called Heavy Hand that allows any hit to have a 10% chance to confuse the enemy. I figured, it might actually be helpful for us to have some sort of crowd control, and since we do not have hard crowd control, that's the closest that we're going to get to we have a little bit of crowd control. So then we got our healer, Raviri, still rocking that extra healing ability. We got Hawkbite, the front line, who has just recently leveled, so we might just continue doing that. For starters, I would like his mental defense to be upgraded. That makes a lot of sense. Um, and how about we're upgrading his action points? You can never have enough action points. It's just that is such a valuable resource, so that should always be the first thing that you're doing. You reached level 5, and with that, a new tier. In case you're wondering who Hawkbite is, I hired him as a brawler on level 1 or 2 the last time, so he's the quote-unquote newest addition, the fourth member of the team. And brawlers, to remind ourselves, are really the frontline characters that are supposed to tank most of the enemy's hits. So it just comes naturally that he's going in with shielding. He now either has the heavy hand as well for confusion, or each successful basic attack recovers 7 steam, which he isn't been using that often, or he cannot be silenced. The silence thing might be helpful if we do get a taunt later. Mm, yeah, there you go. I mean, taunt and silence together. Silence cannot be silenced is a passive ability, so that will help him a lot if he needs to taunt a little bit later. I assume that taunt is a verbal skill, but taunt is on the same tier as heavy armory mastery. I really like the idea of AP penalty reduction. Heavy armor basically reduces your AP and your dodge, and I think this passive is simply better than taunt. Might be wrong, but so far, although I mean, it's actually a good question. Taunt against bosses might be super good. So if we could take both, that would be great. So Sorry, a little bit tired today. So watch out. Ammo bags and field bash are further options, but that's in the future. Now it's just a question of, do we want another passive ability, not be silenced, respectively to confuse enemies, or do we want to cover steam? That's really the only thing I need to find out. We do not have a steam spender so far. Almost everything is passive, and that's a little bit of a weird design. I think the silence one might be the right way to go here. Team watch out could be one. Ammo bags could be one. And shield bash could be one. So those theoretically are steam spenders. Then you can generate steam, but really the fights do not last that long. So I'm almost torn to go into heavy hand again, to just have a passive crowd control. And this here is basically just preventing that we can get silenced. I'll use the silence because I want to go into taunt, even though that blocks heavy armor mastery, but that's the idea. Anyways, moving on to Nimho, which was the female that we needed to find. We went to the monastery. It was basically a quest, and we gotten her. She's the Blade Dancer. Now we got Brawler, Blade Dancer, Arcolite as a healer, Trapper, and Engineer. So all of the human classes plus a healer. Pretty solid party, if you ask me. So we're done with Meta Reach. We're done with the inner circles here. So really I want to go to Swift Spring and see what the coastline has to offer for us. And that's where our journey is going to take us now. In terms of getting extra experience, I'm always taking the lowest levels. Argon is almost leveling up, so that's great. Let's do 2 people into cooking. And Regina is hunting. Fantastic. So let's set up camp. See, we're getting some extra experience. And massive morale improvement. Plus some meat that we have gotten. And thanks to the training, like I said, Argon was already close to level up. Could do something along those lines, and I think that's fine. A little bit more defense, a little bit more magical defense, and we're good. You can always get more learning points and purchase them in the city. They get progressively more expensive, but that is fine. Let's take a look at the quest that we're having. We need to get pelts. We need to get bears down. And we need to kill spiders. That's really what we need to do. Also, in the tavern, we got a couple of humans here. Nothing too exciting. And really, what I wanted to showcase here is this experience thing. So see, for 300, we can easily level her up. And it feels like that is a bit over-tuned. Because if I can get a companion that high, that quickly, it might create issues down the line. So let's put up some more defense. And later we might put in more into action points. So yeah, the training field, I'm 100% sure how I feel about that that XP training. That seems a bit off. Good. Let's see, what else do we need? Bears, pelts, and spiders. No pelts that we can purchase. There are a couple of nice weapons, but I want to keep my money just in case we need it later. So let's see what the coast offers. There are always kind of these little neat things left and right that you can fine. In this case, a Gabazon, light armor. AP modifier is not that great, but the damage reduction on the other hand is. In terms of equipment, I just try to get armor, and that's pretty much it. So the two frontliners the frontliners Hogbite and Argon got heavier armor. The rest is wearing light armor. And that Gabion is really not better than anything we are having. So, yep, nice little find. There is iron. Iron is good. Can maybe use that a bit later. And this is an event where we need an agility character. So tendentially, I like to get someone who is having a bow. Ravari is not bad in doing that. Our main character would be great, but you need always a companion to do that. Nemo could do it. Argon could also do it. Since I'm using Ravari mainly for the mental, you know what, for that as well. And there you go, 2 learning points for Ravari. That's the cool part. You can get essentially free stats. Good. We used the Dark Cave, so nothing more to explore here. That's a neat little concept. You can really explore the environment. That I think they've done very well. I would say it would be nice to get a few more pointers of what is clickable and what isn't. Over time you're learning it, but it is not self-explanatory. Boars. Do we need boars else? There's spiders, not boars. Good. We need defenses. That is Hogbite's territory. And look at that. We got ourselves a magical weapon. Crude Claimer of Poison. Compared to our glaive, 24 to 30, this here is hitting for way more and has a chance to poison the enemy. Small amount of damage for 3 rounds. Looks fantastic. So we're rocking 2 frontline blade users at point. Ignoring the boars, I am somewhat looking for these spiders, but apparently none are here. Alright, it appears to me that we're pretty much done with the coastline. So our next stop, therefore, must be somewhere over here. Kind of leaving the first area now. Got some gold. The party is doing reasonably well. So far, I like what I'm seeing. That was our starting position. And this here is the way forward. So a couple of wolves left and right. Sorry for the back and forth, but it's unclear what can and cannot be picked up. Very easy to kind of miss something that is meaningful. Let's go over here. Choose a companion, Hogbite, let's go. Another crude claimer of poison. Okay. More iron. Fair enough. Listen, it appears to me Green Spar might be the next place where we find something. Let's check the tavern first. Brawler, Blade Dancer, Trapper. This guy gets more experience, which is nice, but really not that important. So we got a couple of pelts that we could hand in here. And I think we are looking for pelts, so let's get rid of that stuff. We could get quite a bit, quite a pretty penny for the crude claymore. I'll leave it for us for now. Good. Is there anything else we would want? All of that is actually okay. So we got enough band-aids. The fine sword is nowhere near as good as the weapon that we're already having. So I'm just going to do that. We do have, we found 3 pelts, so we need to return that quest. And there is another pelt quest right here. We can see we can gain further learning points for money, basically. So instead of a permanent investment in our characters, I tend to think of them as actual decent investments. There we go. Everybody got a free learning point. So let's trade in that other quest. Fast forward for you guys. Good. As we were trading in the quest, Nimho just became level 5. She's, as a blade dancer, kind of a melee bruiser. Well, not a bruiser, melee DPS, two-handed weapon. So we can either make her a light armor masteress. That would, however, mean no heavy armor mastery. Well, you could do both, but I suppose that's a bit redundant. We could get Hurricane Strike, slashing all units, including allies. The strike cannot be parried or dodged. So that means that's not a great ability for fighting in a long line. However, it is a fantastic ability if she goes in first. And then we got Tendon Cut, which slashes the target, dealing 110% damage. This slash here deals just normal damage to everybody. And Tendon Cut deals 110% and reduces speed for 3 turns. That's a good question. Alright, so a couple of things around that. Number one, currently I can't use either of the abilities because it requires short blade, curved blade, long blade, and a claymore is not part of the blade category, which also tells me that a blade mastery, which I used beforehand or skilled beforehand, currently not doing that much. I checked the alternative skills besides heavy armor mastery. I really came to the conclusion we want to do Nimho as a heavy armor version that uses basically 2 one-hand weapons or a nice little 2-hand weapon. I hope long blade or curved blade are 2-hand weapons, which means we're going for the Hurricane Strike also because I have not yet gotten any AoE ability, so that's actually quite helpful. So We got ourselves a nice little quest reward. So off we go to the other side. Alright, we're back to the other side. Green Spire, respectively, the northern section where we haven't been before. Let's just go through the findings. Couple of pelts here and there, that's good. We're seeing wolves patrolling basically left and right. Very hard to tell whether or not there's a place of interest. The farm certainly is one. We pass yet another, what seems to be at first unremarkable village. However, the fields you see people practicing with dummies. Though calling it practice is very generous. Their strikes take forever and their shots miss most of the times. What are you doing here? We practice recently, have been a lot of thugs in the area. Sooner or later they will come here, and when they do, we will be ready. Not sure if you shoot like that. Oh, you think you can aim better? Fair point. So what can we do differently? Let me show you. Alright. You shared explaining the basics of both melee and ranged combat. Farmers listen to you with great interest and mimic your movements fairly well. Let's see what you've learned. What? And now we're beating them up? Okay. Alright, fair enough. I suppose they are half opponents now? Half-ish? I wonder why those loading screens take for. The game doesn't have the best graphics, so I really can't understand why. Got a couple of characters that were dropping in. Alright, where's the enemy coming from? Oh, look at that. One more move, and I could my AoE strike. Fortunately, I can't. Let's see if we can use Hurricane Strike. And that's we can, however, hit them, which is good. I like it. Get a couple more throws in. Guy is taking almost 0 damage. He is nicely poisoned though. Okay, let's see. Taking quite a bit of poison damage. Ooh. Oh, that's the commander ability. That is the life leech ability. Alright, what are these guys doing? So, will heal when damaging an enemy. Alright. What is this? This unit is tired and deals less damage. Okay. And these guys are actually real serious contenders and not just nilly-willy farmers. Good, we're focusing one of them down. He has so much poison. Can't survive it, so we're going for the next guy. Which apparently is the commander. There's 2 stacks of poison now as well. And Hawkbite is moving. It's a little bit slow for my taste. Not 100% sure why we deal such low amounts of damage, but I assume it's because they have full armor on. Good. Let me show you the healing. Basically, fixer-upper allows you to hit someone to full health. Let's surround this guy. I learned from the tooltips, if you surround someone with 3 or more, their defense will massively decrease, and that seems to be the case. Yeah, the other 2 were in heavy armor. Now I do understand what the problem is. Okay. Look at that, we got plate armor. And quite a bit of XP actually. So, not sure how the game reconciles this being us being very generous when we say that they couldn't do anything, and then they are not taking any damage because they are in full plate armor. Okay, so well, defense 6 agility is what Hawkbite needs. Listen, looks like we are good. He certainly does have a low chance to parry and a low chance to dodge, but 7, 21, 30, 39, almost 40% less damage that he is taking. Let's just double check the character. Down to 16 action points. That's actually okay. Hasn't really changed that much. Need to get him some sort of a speed boost and a better weapon. The shield is still okay. The shield is still okay, but we should get him a better weapon. Alright. These, for instance, are great. 13 damage reduction. All you need is a little bit of agility, so that's actually pretty damn good. These guys here do have a Fang quest. That's from Wild Animals. Okay. Listen, that was good enough. Nice little farm encounter there. We need to kill stags. We definitely need to kill spiders. We need to kill bears. That's what we're looking for. No idea where we find spiders, let alone spider queen. But as you can see, even wilderness exploration can be fun here. There are bears. That's good. That's a bit of the problem with the game, the repetitiveness, because those bears, other than being kind of a collection quest, it's really whatever. And whilst games of World of Warcraft also do have collection quests, so fully aware that would be a hypocrisy, basically saying that that is always bad. So whilst games like World of Warcraft do have that as well, recent games have moved more and more away from the just kill 20 and then you're going to be fine type of quest, because they're just not very engaging. And the additional problem here, this game, is you're ending up with a procedurally generated map you need to load. There's no option to auto-resolve. And that really takes a lot of time. For 2 bear cubs that aren't a threat whatsoever. Even our range damage dealers hit them easily. Can't move in deeper because elsewise we're taking an attack of opportunity. And that was really it. So not very engaging battles from time to time. That would be a point of criticism, definitely, because you will need to go through quite a few of these. So the bears, for instance, require you to kill 6 of the bears, and that means at least 3 to 4 loading screens, finding them somewhat in the wild, and then you just get a little bit of extra XP. So the way that I'm seeing those quests is, here we kill 2 bear cubs, okay, whatever. The way that I'm seeing those quests is they are a bonus, but that's pretty much about it. This is a chance to permanently increase our mind stat, which would be fantastic. Unfortunately not. Good. Pretty much gotten everything from here. Let's move over the bridge. I'm still looking for the spider queens and new enemy types. So we're going to find them sooner or later. Boars, we don't need those. We need bears. Plenty thereof. Alright, fast forward that encounter, you don't need to sit through it. Alright, killed all of the bears. We are now at like what? 3 bears, 2 cubs. I think the cubs will take forever. Still no spider queen. Holy smokes. We need fangs. If we can find some more, great. If not, also okay. Fine kite shield. This might be just what we have been looking for. Great shield for Hawkbite. Let's just get rid of some of the stuff that we've gotten in the meantime. A lot of crafting mats, which is fine. Main quest, which triggers when you do have 3 fine level items. Not that I think that's a really good measure, but it still triggers once you do have that. Has just basically said you're well enough prepared. No idea if that's really the case, but I can tell you this kite shield now has a much better damage reduction. Gosh, graphics look awful here. This character is, anyways, let's not get started with it. Yeah, we still need a helmet for him, and maybe a secondary weapon. I'll just give him the two-hander in case he needs it. Quests. Oh wow. Deers. We need to get a lot of deers anyway, so that would not be bad. Boar hunter. Pack of wolves. Quality leather. I think we do have quality leather, don't we? No, we did not. Okay, never mind. Okay. High quality iron. We can actually do that. So let's get rid of one of the other quests. The Trapper, okay, Finding Nemo. Well, that's completed quest. We don't need that. Fangs is okay. I think we're just going to get rid of the deers. This is too much. 12. It's just not reasonable. There we go. Just traded in the blacksmithing ore, which is why I'm never selling ore, because there's always this one quest where you can then afterwards use it. High quality construction stone. Do we have that? So this is essentially the quest loop. You're just going through all of your materials. Quest items, no material. There we go. We got fangs, we got pelts, we do not have leather, and we do stone. Naturally, flea market, you can double check. Some stone. So the question here is, how much stone do we need? We only need 1. Okay, cool. Well, that's an easy party experience and 500 gold pieces. You can unload more stone and more iron there, which we currently don't have. There are bandits for the first time and not just animals. Love to see that. And of course, we're now finding deer, plenty here. I'm wondering, where is... do we have any finished quests? Bears, no. Spider queens, no. Normal spiders, no. Precious necklaces, no. So none of that stuff. I'm going to invest heavier into trading. I won't skill any more trading afterwards. Next will be first aid and leadership. We're just getting cheaper prices for now. Not sure. Let's do one of those fights again. Wait, before we take out bandits, maybe just maybe, we can actually get a quest for them. And maybe we're getting ambushed, who knows? All right, first check the tavern. So there's a frontliner warlord, if we wanted to go into that. I was hoping we would get a shaman, because that we wouldn't have had the chance to do yet. This here is a really nice one extra action point situation. Arcolites, let's just double check. I don't know all of the classes. Yeah, those were healers. Um, so that's a nice healer, but we already got a nice healer ourselves. Garling would be a melee DPS. Question is, do we really need someone else? I don't want too full of a gang. I see one more room for us, and that might be a caster or a backline character. Torfir could be that backline character, basically with throwing knives or a nice little bow. So that would be an option. Comes with an extra learning point, but that then means we don't have a shaman. That's a tough decision. That's a tough decision. I think for this playthrough we can go with it. And basically, A, start giving him some learning points, but B, also starting him at level 3. Alright, so he has throwing weapons skilled, which is fine. We wanted someone with throwing weapons. He can't take another learning point yet. So currently you can't learn multiples. But then I wonder, when it says starts with one extra learning point, so what's the point in it then? He is going to be a knife juggler, so let's call him juggler. I like that. But what's the point of learning points then if you anyways get the abilities? So that's a bit of a weird take on traits on those abilities here. Be it as it may, we're going to do a bit of extra action points into extra agility, because that is the determination of his damage. A bit of extra defense. He's very low on hit points. Super swift. So I like that. Question is, if we give him an extra action point, he can potentially use that to his advantage. He got fur armor. Better than no armor. Damage boost by 5. I don't know if a stiletto really helps you with throwing knives. It shouldn't. Crossbow bolts, not good for him. We will need an extra set of throwing knives. So I still haven't double checked the quests here. Injustice that had been devouring this region. Bring the heads. Okay, I think this is right. Bandits and bandit leaders. Okay, cool. High construction stone and then there is a quest to follow a rich lady, whatever that. No stone available here, so that's pretty much it. There are a couple of other nice items. This here, for instance, broken heater shield of fire, successful blocking, puts others in flame. This here is nice. Crude double X of ice lowers the speed by 1 for the next turn on a successful hit. That's actually really good. So we're seeing the first real weapons and armor here. Like fine plate armor, for instance, 25% damage reduction. This is just crazy. The 10 leather chest is also so good. I mean, a lot of AP modification, fine plate helmet. I need money, guys. I need lots of money. So, yeah, this is basically the game loop in a nutshell. Let's do some bandits and then we're done with today's episode. So those bandits are coming in warbands of 4. They should be no match against the power of our warband. Interesting map. Not very organic. Looks a little bit like a tour of a paintball game. Okay. Let's go. Hogbite moves in. Matter of fact, everybody moves in. Range characters are taking a bit of cover here and there. Let the bandits come. Nice. Our shield blocks super well. Alright, Hogbite moves in. Protecting from the back. Good, nice strike. Let's do some throwing weapons. 1. Move in the hope that this guy will move away. Maybe we don't even need to wait. If it's not a frontliner, they tend to take a lot of damage. And even the ones with the shield take a lot of damage. Ouch. Fantastic. Trying to move, but he's locked in there. He ate a lot of extra damage. We're regaining health. Oh, I completely forgot that we do have 6 characters. So, first of all, let's heal up. Second of all, we're using all of our ranged attacks. We definitely need more. We definitely need more ammunition for the throwing knives. This is not very sustainable. Nice hit. Continuing to poison him. Their front line is tough as well. Gotta give credit where credit is due. Likely going to die, but nonetheless, good stuff. Oh, 58 damage. That was good. Okay, easy. So we got a couple of people that freshly leveled up. Nemo. And I think the bandits are doable. I'll do them off screen. We have potentially one more episode since I enjoyed the playthrough so far. And then you guys let me know what you think, and we see whether or not we want to continue the game. Alright, have a good one. See you all in the next episode. Bye bye.